My name is Hannah Kristan, and I live in New Haven, Connecticut, where I was born and raised. And I am a licensed clinical social worker working in private practice right now. I remember feeling different or noticing that I was different probably in grade school when, like, I have some kind of distinct, I don't remember a lot of my childhood, but I remember certain parts. And I have distinct memories of sharing things with people that I thought were normal, but like they weren't. Not that they weren't normal, but they weren't normal for everybody else. And a couple of kids made fun of me and stuff. And so that's kind of, when I started to realize that I was different. I didn't start identifying as a woman with a disability until probably my late 20s, early 30s. I do use a wheelchair for mobility on a daily basis because of my spina bifida, which is a spinal cord defect I've had since birth. And yeah, so many places now are accessible to those of us who use wheelchairs. And like school, college, I was able to live in a dorm, somewhat independently, we'll say, because it wasn't like apartment living, but, it was with roommates and stuff. And I was able to access all my classes and for the most part. And work, I was able to find jobs where I could go into the office and get accommodations with not, too much of an issue that I might not have had if things like the ADA weren't passed. I do think of it in an asset in a lot of ways because um, tangibly, like physically, it's forced me or encouraged me, however you want to, depending on the day, to adapt. And like, if I knock something off my desk or, drop something, I don't always have to get my really heavy reacher that I use to pick up stuff off the floor. I can grab a pair of scissors or something, or and pick up a piece of paper with scissors. And so I've learned little ways to adapt, and also in my field, um, I feel like I can offer a different perspective. And I've been telling people this, how I want to broaden my clinical skills to work with people with disabilities, because I feel like I can offer that unique perspective, and have that empathy and understanding for people with different challenges that I might not otherwise have if I wasn't born with a disability. I think a lot of people think of everybody with a disability as maybe not the same, but similar, and that everybody's different. And like, you know for example, I don't consider myself the stereotypical disabled woman. I have 20 tattoos, I have you know piercings. I mean, not that people with disabilities can't, but I have a neck tattoo. I work. I like to go out and with friends and get a drink sometimes. And like, I like to be social. And um I'm usually pretty positive, although everybody has their days. So yeah, just that, like, you know when somebody thinks of disability, it may not be what they originally thought it was. And that get to know the whole person and not just the disability.